Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. It's Saturday and we're hanging out in the garage. I worked this morning but got off around 1:30, finished up a project. And so over here, just doing a little work on the Vette. So basically what was going on is working on the tune here. Let me shut this music off. Still trying to get this tune set up, and we're having issues with fueling right now. So this is just my log file. Just show you some part throttle cruising. Basically we're doing 2200 RPM, about 30 miles an hour. You see my fuel trims here are basically like pegged out, like it's trying to add like 30% more fuel, but the wideband's reading stoic at 14.7. So my fuel trim is good, but for some reason the computer is commanding it, hey, I need way more fuel, like it's seeing the engine's lean. And then if you see over here on the map chart, so I got my short-term fuel trims trended with the map. So basically that's the frequency and that's what's commanding the add, so 22% more fuel. And then basically what I did was I uploaded a new fuel where I added about, I think like 5 or 8% more fuel. So I'll show you that log file. Let's pull this one up. And we'll go to that same frequency range and see, instead of 22, now it's adding like 30% more fuel. So effectively, even though I add fuel into the tune, it actually commanded more fuel when I added more fuel. So something's fucked up. Basically, I talked to the guy I was doing the remote tuning with, and he said, yeah, just try changing your front O2 sensors out. Maybe something's going wacky with them and they're not looking at the air fuel right, which I can see being a problem, because if I got good readings coming from the wideband, then why would my O2 sensors be seeing that the engine's running so lean? So basically I went to AutoZone, I picked up 2 new front O2 sensors, the ones before the cats. I got Bosch ones, they're about 70 bucks a pop. So I threw those in. These are the old ones here, which I mean visibly you can't really tell. But obviously something was going kind of funky with them. I'm leaning either between those O2 sensors being wacky or something's wrong with the MAF and it's not seeing the correct amount of fuel going into the engine, and for some reason it's trying to command way more fuel. So that's kind of where we're at with this. We're just playing around with it. The car runs and drives. I took it to the car meet the other weekend, so this is kind of just getting everything dialed in. So obviously I don't want my fuel trims this far off, but I know I'm safe because my wideband readings are good, so I'm not too worried about like anything going on with the car. And then I also have a trend for spark retard if the car starts pulling timing, see a knock or anything like that, and that hasn't pinged at all, so that's really good. So basically we're just getting the fuel dialed in, and then once the fuel's dialed in, we'll probably play around the spark table, and then when I get the tune close, that's probably when I'll do some dyno time. I don't want to waste time on a dyno trying to figure out stuff like this, like, oh, I need O2 sensors or I need this or that. I mean, that's just a huge waste of money. So I'm trying to get it as close as possible in the street. And then once it's street tuned pretty good and the drivability's there and everything like that, then I'll throw it on the dyno and do those wide open throttle pulls. I get a little more data with that. So we'll see where that's at. But just Saturday, hanging out in the garage. My buddies Miata projects over here. We did a bunch of work to that this week. I didn't really film anything, but working on a turbo kit for this. So he's got his manifolds here. Some of the intercooling piping already ran. That front mount's done. I think his turbo is over here on the bench somewhere. Check that out. It's like a 62 or 68 mil turbo. I mean, I don't really know too much about Miatas and turbo stuff, but I mean, it looks pretty gnarly. So I'm sure that thing will run pretty quick for a little 2,000 pound car pushing 2 or 250 horsepower. And he's just out here washing up his M3, giving it the old soap treatment. And what else we got going on? Oh, we got a little jug of some good stuff over here. Picked this up the other day. I actually had my buddy pick up the jug for me, and he pulled up in his M3, and the guy at the VP racing station was like, oh man, you're running methanol in this thing? And he was like, no, it's actually for my buddy's go-kart. So I have those 2 racing go-karts I've had since I was a kid, and they've just kind of moved around with me. I brought them down from New York when I moved down here, and then they just kind of sat around with me in the garage. They were in my shed for like 5 years, and so I just changed the oil in it, threw some fuel in it, got this one fired up. Unfortunately, this one seems like the engine's locked up or seized in it. I dumped the oil and it was like full of sludge and this nasty goop coming out of water and everything. And then I put a breaker bar on the crank and I couldn't move it. So I think that one locked up. Maybe it got moisture or something in it for sitting for so long, and it probably seized the bearings, or I don't know. Probably something I'll just mess around with when I get some free time. But then I think the other thing I'm going to want to do is a video on this wideband setup I got, because I don't know if you guys are running this new HP tuners with the MPVI2 unit. They don't have the like 0 to 5 millivolt or whatever it is inputs like the old one, where you could like put your wideband connection in. So integrating like external inputs is really hard with that. So I'm going to show you a quick just one for this. So I have that mounted on the pillar over here, and I think we'll do a video on how this is set up. But it's like an OBD2 kind of piggyback port that allows you to read the wideband with the MPVI2 into your HP tuner, so you could data log it and, you know, play it back instead of just monitoring the gauge while you're driving. You could actually trend it. So I'll do a video on that, kind of show you how that's set up and how to do it for the guys running the new software. And that's about it. So it's just, you know, Saturday in the garage, hanging out, doing a couple little projects here. I'll take the vet out later, bring that home with me. And yeah, that's about it. You missing a lock? You missing a lock? Yeah. Come on! Ready?